you're changing our mindset really fundamental level, and I think it's really important.
The video you're about to watch is a coaching session between myself, a buddy of mine, and his business partner. They run a community where they do masterminds and they do events and stuff like that, and he's transitioned his business model because prior to this event, him and I had a very long conversation, and he was doing about $10K a month, wasn't making any money. I gave him some advice on how he should not be selling event tickets anymore. He should be selling something more expensive and making it more exclusive. His ads were already working, but his pricing was off and his offer was off. And so we made those changes after he went from 10 to 30, and now he's looking to get to 80. What I'm going to show you here in this coaching session is essentially what we went through back and forth on what he should do to get to $80,000 a month. I went over the sales process, went over the marketing process. I went over some of the offer, the packaging, the pricing, how to increase LTV, and really how I evaluate his business and what he can do to kind of scale. And so I hope you get value from this. If you do enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe, etc. And I hope you like it.
Let's start at the top. So we're at 30 a month. Yeah, is that what you're doing? 30 a month, give or take?
Yeah, we did like
30?
30 in September.
Or less. 30?
Yeah, let's take
And how many units is that? You have to sell that?
Another thing important is that we added now a second product, which is Select. We have one, and we have the Open Scale, which is a parallel community for people earlier in their journey. So a bit lower.
6 figures.
6 figures, 7 plus.
Some super fine.
So right now we have started selling both, but let's focus for a second on Select.
Yeah, let's do that.
The 8K price tag right now, 2K a quarter.
We were selling 8 to 10 per month.
Okay, so you're doing 8 units to do 30. What do you want to do? What's the goal?
The goal?
Short
For
term.
me, short term, quite easy.
Like June 2026, where do you want to be?
Per month or
Yeah, per
accumulated?
month.
Before June 2026. I want to be like in 2-3 months.
Okay, so 3 months. So next quarter.
So next quarter, stable on 12 to 15. That's where I really want to be.
12 to 15 units. And then what's that in terms of MRR?
Which means MOR about 100K.
100. Well, if you double the units, because you're getting quarterlies from the back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not only that, but the price changed. So what I felt earlier will.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so 12 to 15. So you essentially need to do about double, maybe less than double. Okay. How much are you spending on ads right now?
Not a lot.
Per day.
50 per day.
Ads per day.
We are getting leads. The marketing is working.
Do you know your cost per lead?
It's not high. I mean, I need to speak to Stavros.
It's probably really low, yeah?
Pretty low. It's really low, yeah.
Okay, and of those people, how many book month over month?
How many what?
How many book a call? How many get on the webinar? Because that's the first step, right?
You guys
Webinar.
qualify? It's a really high percentage.
Yeah.
It's a pretty high percentage.
But I had to. Anyone has to know.
To you because up until 2 weeks ago, the process was that he makes a first call, 15 minutes to make sure it's relevant, then I meet. Only 2 weeks ago, we started webinars, so the data I have is not super valid. It's only 2 weeks.
Month over month, how many people will attend the webinar or attend that 15-minute call? How many will you have?
50, more or less.
50 people.
More or less, I would.
Because out of 50 people, you sold 8 units.
No,
Okay.
it's not what I sold. It's what I expect them to have. Now, I expect to have 9 calls a month, each one with an average of 5-6 people.
Okay.
So it's going to be 50. But before, it was me meeting people about...
Okay, so the process is changing a little bit. However, like that process right now of about 50 people, give or take, is a rough estimate, but that you're getting 8 down the spigot in terms of that buy.
What?
Okay. So that's a bad close rate. So yeah, I think we've identified the problem. From the first call to the sales call, because you book an individual call with each person that wants to hear the offer.
How it was before is we received the application.
Are you selling them all on the same webinar?
Now I'm doing it, but before it was one-on-one. Before I was sitting here with people physically or online one-on-one. Now I'm doing it in the webinar.
So you're selling it right there.
Yeah, but in a very more elegant way. The call is well, the people respond well, but again, just like I was sitting here with people, they come out of the meeting convinced.
But they don't buy it.
But they don't buy.
Well, so you're missing a step.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to do an individual call afterwards.
But let me challenge that, because I'm on you. A decision we took, I didn't know if we're meeting or not meeting. On Friday, I've decided that how was it in the last 2 weeks in the webinar? We do the call, we explain everything, and then we send people an email that another revision that they got accepted, and convert, join, become a member with this link.
Mm.
What I've decided is, instead of doing that, because there's a lot of friction from coming to a webinar, listening, liking it, to paying. But If the call to action is book a call, 15-minute final call to be validated by the founder one-on-one after the webinar, you've heard it, you liked it, you've seen there are many people inside and interested. Call to action, no risk, 15 minutes, but we need to vary. You book me to interview you. Yes, people would do that because there is zero risk.
Yeah. You need that second call, and I'll tell you why. A couple of things. Number one is you're not going to be able to sell high ticket to a group. If it was like $2,000 and less, you can sell via webinar to one-to-many selling. But in this case, you have no opportunity to handle an objection. You have no opportunity to probe and pry. You have no opportunity to get specific on why they want it and what's kept them in the way and what they tried before, because they're going to give you only a handful of objections. I don't believe it's going to work for me. I tried something before and I got burnt. I don't have the money for it. Fear and logistics. So I just don't want to spend the money. I'm fearful of spending the money, or logistically, I don't have the money. And then you have partner. They have to talk to their spouse about it. Yeah. Right. And then that's pretty much it. Those are the fun. And then timing is another one. Like now is not a good time. Time is the easiest thing to handle. But essentially what I mean by that is, without getting too tactical, is that you need to be able to have that conversation personal. Yeah. It needs to be personal. I always say it won't be able to be 15 minutes. It has to be 30, because you'll have to like rediscover a little bit and go over why it's important, and then remake the offer. And then if it's not yes, there's gonna be something that you're gonna have to explain away, whether it's timing, whatever, and you want them to pay on the call. High ticket sales, you say, what card are we using? And you pay on the call.
That's the key point from.
You got to pay on calls.
Before that call, here on that chair, on the webinar, they are all in. The second that they get out of the call,
Done.
mind this call is to think and finding the reasons why not. But we're selling a value product. We're selling exclusivity. Do you feel like people would close on the call with that large payment?
We really want to make sure that there's a sense of we have chosen you.
Yeah, it's why that's like, oh, yeah. But it just from a sales process perspective, you need to explain away concerns, give them next step, accept payment on call, and then there's got to be a warm handoff to onboarding. On call. Well, who's doing your onboarding?
I'm doing it.
You are. Okay, so you onboard them right there. You want, like, the first 24 hours is where people usually back out, especially B2C. So you need to have a warm handoff. I don't want to get too much into CS, but, like, you close on the call. So there's no running away. They run away because there's something in those 5 objections that you didn't handle.
That I wasn't getting out of that.
Exactly.
On that call, I will get out of.
You don't have leverage because it's a group.
Do you feel, with your experience with a high ticket, with people committing to 8K, that call, imagine that call goes well, we have accepted you, okay, I think it's great. Call to action. How do you envision that, seriously? Because
the call to action is booking the 30-minute to get final decision on it. And the webinar, I wouldn't, like, the way I'm looking at this is the same way that I do it in the same classic 2-call close, which for this ticket size is exactly what you want to do, is you have first call and you have second call. But what you guys are doing this a little bit differently is your first call is a webinar. Okay, but your first call is essentially discovery. Now you do a 2-call close, you do not want to mention price in the first call unless you have like a brand. If you're Grant Cardone, Alex Ramosi, they put the price of their fucking thing on the thank you video before they even tend to call. You do that, people will scurry away because they need the value. People with brand, the value's already there. But essentially the way I'm looking at this is you have a 2-call close. And so in order to get the second call, what you're essentially doing on the first call is, what's the gap? Where are these people and where do they want to go? Bring up deprivation so that they're like, I need to know what this looks like. I need this. I want to see what it takes to get started. And then that's how you get them onto the second call. So there's going to be a percentage that go to this from this first call, but the second call, but that's the way you got to look at it, is first call is purely fact finding and pain maximization.
My question to you is, I already have a lot of data from the last 4 months. For the relevant people, price is not a problem. For the relevant people, they are more concerned, is this the right group of people for me? Will I feel good there? I trying to imagine that, not paying. So my concern is, by mentioning the call in the first call, and in the end, like I do today, the process, no, I'm asking, I'm brainstorming. I might be again losing time because I'll be spending half-hour calls and saying the price in the end. After we experience it and there's a group and saying, okay, this is the price. Are you interested? Let's continue to see if you're good enough for us. But everyone that comes to this call is already in the understanding of the price range and payment, committed to going to the last mile of understanding, do I convert or not, but not finding out that call it people, it's too expensive. Like,
No, you're right. It's a fair point. I think if you want to mention price on the first sort of interaction, that's fine, but you're going to need to know this number, which is second call show rate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and so second call show rate has to be 90 plus, or you're going to fail because you just paid for this person to get on this call, wasted their time, wasted your time, and they're not even able to get a sale. Right. However, my point is though, is that you don't know the reason why they're not buying because you're not talking to them when you make the pitch.
That's the interesting thing, that before qualification and then interview. Now, one of the good things is that all of that time that I was spending calling people all the time is now gone. Because the moment they fill out the qualification form, remember the qualification form?
Yeah.
Based on the answers that they provide, they are sent on 3 different routes. One is select, scale, or rejected.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the select. And so,
Yeah, right. So right now we are immediately sending them to this page right here.
in this case, you're getting the lead and then you're booking them into the webinar and then you're having a sales call. It's kind of a funky thing. I like it. I don't hate it, but you have to treat it like a first call, right? And in this case, for a client of mine that does a webinar and does it really well, she was doing 40K a month and then, she crossed 200 last month and we're running her ads. And the way it works is like we get the webinar, we book the meeting from the webinar. That's the CTA. And then she runs the sales call. Her team runs the sales call on that call. And it's a one call close, even though you can consider the first webinar kind of introduction as the first call. But essentially you will have to fact find on the second call and you have to dig into pain why it matters to them, because there's a reason why they're not buying, and you need to figure it out on that second call. So it could be I need to figure it exactly. No, I don't. That's a very simple fix. And so like this alone, you will get an extra 3-4 units. I will just go through the closer framework, keep it very simple. Why are they there? What problem do they have? Label it on them, right? So it seems like you're dealing with this. Overview what they've tried or their past pains, and then sell a vacation. What happens as a result of them coming in to select? What does it look like? And then drop the price.
I feel like only by the fact that first call, which is going still great, and like people are, we have people on process on converting, but when they end this call by feeling, no, you're still not good enough. Continue the progress and see if we accept you. That would put their mindset of the relevant people for conversion and like, these guys are serious, they're not fucking playing games. Yeah, I need to continue seeing what's up there.
Here's the thing. So you signed 8 units, right? And essentially what you can consider these 8 units is just low information buyers. They didn't need a ton of information in order to buy something. We love those people. Yeah, that's not most people. Most people are high information buyers, especially the ones that have tried something before and had a bad experience. Or they know somebody else who's tried something before and had a bad experience, or they're moving from someplace or whatever. Or they're just a little bit more skeptical, or they're a little bit more sophisticated how they make decisions, right? And so you have to account for all those people, the high information people. And the high information people just need a reason to go. And typically it's like something is in the way and they don't think the timing is right. Their partner is not going to like it. Like I said, the 5 objections. And so if you get on the call with them and you go through a sales script, you will increase your units by non-trivial amounts, because as I see right now, I don't think there's any issue. Once you're able to do that and you materially increase your units, the thing is that $50 a day is not a lot at all. You're doing 8 units for $50 a day. I think 2 weeks, you run this second call structure and find an idea of a script that makes sense, and then you triple the ad spend.
We've already, by the way, increased it for 100 per day in the last week to see, and we see results, but we will track that.
Yeah, like slowly just increase the spend and just run into this to where you'll just have a full calendar of people to sell to. And you're like, these guys are going to be closed, and you need to accept payment on the front.
That's my question. How would you do that? Because that's a very, with an 8K product, okay, everything clear, great. Give me, like, what's the call to action? Because one of the things that we were using and don't feel like it proved itself was time urgency.
No, you need internal urgency. We were thinking of creating some, like, my hypothesis was that we needed a stronger offer, right? Like,
No.
using kind of maybe I'm completely wrong. I mean, and that's never an idea. but like following the Alex Ramosi principles of saying like, hey, look, like if you join in the next 72 hours, you're gonna get boom, 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 boom additionally. And then, hey, by the way, we're increasing the price at the end of the year.
But that's the thing. I've been with so many people to understand price is not the issue. Yeah, they're willing to pay. Some told me, no worries, I'll come in 2 months and I'll pay more money because I value the quality. And second, I don't need the extras. Like, it's a different type of sale. You're super right if we would be selling something else, but scale, that would work. Scale, lower level, yeah, that would push them. And I see it on the calls of Scale and I see the calls of Select. In Scale, you speak to people about the benefits in Barcelona. Oh, you work with Norskin, you work with this. The high level in Select calls, it's like the people are in. I want to make sure that who's I'm going to sit next to me on the left and on the right are going to be high level.
Well, here's what I will say. So there's internal and there's external urgency. External urgency used incorrectly will make you sound fishy and smell fishy. We only have this many slots in price increase. Yeah, that's gonna tarnish the whole exclusivity thing. Because if you're just a little bit too over on it. And my best suggestion is you have it still, but it's subtle. So it's in the beginning of the call when you set the agenda, it's here's how these calls go. What we say is like, I need to see if you're fit. We get this many applications and we only accept this much in the cohort. So you can say that and be just truthful about it. For Adstra, I get 200 applications a month. We accept 7 per cohort. It's every 2 weeks as a cohort. And so that's a fact. And so you can just say that in the agenda of why this is important, why I'm talking to you now, because this is the cohort. And I would onboard in cohorts, so onboard people together, right? So next cohort is X date. Joined by this.
Actually, a question.
Joined by then you get the bonus or whatever.
That's
It closes at that date, yeah. But it's subtle, right? So secondarily to that, I just want to show this up. You mentioned at the beginning in the agenda, and you mentioned at the end when you justify the price. It's this because we don't want to break our delivery. We don't want to break our community. We want to maintain the integrity of our community. And so that's why it's 7 per cohort. Cohort ends on this date. And you have 2 ways to get started. And you say, which one would you prefer? A or B? And then you shut up. And then they'll say something. And if it's yes, you say, great. What card will you be putting that on? And then you say, okay, here's the link. And then that's how you make the sale. They say anything but yes, you get into objection handling. That's exactly how you do it. You overutilize the external urgency. It's once, twice, that's it. The real urgency comes from when they're internally urgent of what doesn't happen if they don't join that sec. What happens to their network? What happens to their business if they don't join? Because what you got to understand is that what is the main reasons why people join Charisma? I can tell you what happened when I joined Charisma is that I made more fucking money. And Levy made more money. And him and I together made more money. And me and Moss together made more money. And you and I together made more money. But money to do what? To have more power, to have more influence, to help more people. That's in line with the community that you're building, yeah? Is to help more people. And so, as a result of making more money, you help more people. That's a very clear value prop. They're exchanging $8,000 because they want to make more from what they exchanged. That could be peace of mind, that could be power, that could be influence, but pretty common thread is making more money. One of you guys know, like the fraternity party planner. There was a study done in psychology where they were testing people cutting in line who had, with what excuse made people have the ability to cut in line more often. So they tried like, hey, I'm late for class, can I cut in line? There was like X percentage of people would let them cut. And then also they said, I have a cat at home, can I cut? So it was like no reason at all, no rationale at all, still to the same tune. So in fact, just having a reason why at all, no matter what the reason is good, right? It actually works. So the fraternity party planner is like, oh, Mark, you just got a haircut. Let's drink. Let's party. You know what I mean? There's no good reason for it. But any reason is a good reason.
When we had the best closing rates, it was when we were using every Friday, we have a weekly meeting to discuss all the people we met that week and decide who we accept, which is up to 3 people per week. And then time frame was closed and it's limited amount of spots. You need to decide quickly or you're out.
Yes.
And the second thing which also works,
You go to the back of the line.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't take it. You go to the back of the line.
if you don't take it,
This is our wait list. Yeah, you go to
you
the back
can't
of the line.
call me next week and say I'm in. Second thing which also worked quite well, I'm not sure of that, was doing it on a daily, but with the webinar it's a bit different, so I think weekly is better. that I was meeting on average 3 people a day, telling them every day we only accept 1. We meet 5 per day. We accept 20%, 1 per day.
I like the former.
Yeah, I also feel like even with the webinar, it must be the former because I can do it on a daily.
That's perfect. So that's your cohort. Is that every Friday you decide the cohort?
So that they had to commit before Friday 5 p.m.
Yeah. So they had to tell us, I'm in. So we can consider you in our meeting, and if we accept you, you get an email to pay. That was how it worked.
Yeah, but I would change that and just say, look, we've accepted you because you're on this call now. We sent you the link because we noticed on the webinar you were a good fit. We think based on your interactions, you fit perfectly with the community. And so that's why we're on this call, right? You will get started Friday 5 p.m. Doors close. You go to the back of the line if you don't make a choice. Time kills all deals. You let them get off the phone. There's
Yeah, obviously. If Friday 5 p.m., it's not, so in this version it changes, it's not when we decide if we accept you. On the call, we accepted you. Yeah,
On the second call?
on the second.
yeah.
Now, every Friday 5 p.m. or Thursday or whatever, we have the onboarding. So basically the time constraint is we've accepted you pay, so you can start on Friday. If I understand
Yeah,
you're going.
yes. And I would also suggest too, in terms of customer success, is that you're not going to be onboarding a lot of units. I mean, even if you do 15 units a month, that's still like, you can still do it. But I think that if you're going to do the group onboarding every Thursday, right after they buy, warm handoff to somebody on the team. If it's you, warm handoff. So like you will book a meeting from a meeting. That is a true thing. So you want to always book a meeting from a meeting, never leave any open loops. And so it's like, you don't want to, if they sell on a Monday, you don't want them to wait till Thursday to hear the next interaction from you. You want to get them right on the phone with somebody else, pull up the person's calendar, just taking that call. Nati should just be ripping those, and she should be ready at a moment's notice, like in the next 30 minutes, to just warm handoff. Your guys are going to make, in the short term, incrementally, a lot of money from just, having that second call be the dialed call. But where you guys will become sustainably large is from just like keeping customers forever.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I want to go into the offer a little bit, but I think that's your solution.
What we are saying is you've put your details in an online form, which takes you to a webinar. And after that, in that webinar, you're already accepted. What
Well,
the process?
do something in the webinar, round table type.
I am, but it's not enough. I feel like
You enough. Like you definitely know enough just by hearing somebody speak.
I agree on that. Brainstorming. What if the call to action in the webinar, if you want to continue this journey with us, book this call with us so we can have the final verification.
Yes, here's what I would say. So I'll give you an example. You want a little bit of a damaging admission here. It works really well.
So we ask in the first call, we ask our clients, hey, can you call your leads and can you call them fast? We ask for them to call their leads 12 times and within 10 minutes. So they just make more money. Now, on the outside looking in, you may think that, you want to sell something that's completely hands off and like you don't want to put undue effort required from the client side. So in that case, when you do that, I'm qualifying them. It's like asking a girl on the street, what makes you a fit to be with me kind of thing, which is like, when you do that as a man, it turns the table and, it works. And so that's how you would do it. And so what the small suggestion that I would make in terms of qualifying the customer is that I'm going to drop the link here. Only book the call if 1, 2, 3 requirements, and then the people that hop on the call qualified. Hey, so I saw you put this call, so that must mean that 1, 2, 3 are true. Is that fair to say? Got it. Think about 3 collaboration requirements that you can give the prospects on the webinar and be like, you can only book the call if you are 1, 2, and 3. You're willing to do 1, 2, and 3, and make them hard. Make it like there's effort involved. You got to commit to it, and then therefore by booking, they've already just self-qualified. And the best thing is going to happen is that actually some people won't book. They shouldn't have anyways.
What about one thing?
But that's a rationale, right? So sorry to interrupt, but that's your rationale as to why now on this second call, I can comfortably say you're a fit. Outside just the form. You booked it. You saw this. You know this, right? These are the collaboration requirements. Yes? Okay, so that sounds great to me.
Would you also send an email after the call with the link or just put it on the chat?
I would not stress it. I would put it on the chat and then I'll send maybe one email right when the webinar is over. I mean, maybe another one. And outside of that, that's it. Yeah. You guys might hate this, but I think scale may take away from your revenue potential with Select. And what I mean by that is that what is the revenue mock-up right now? To what percentage does Select make up the revenue? Is it 80%? Is it
Select is right now 100 because scale just kicked off. But there's an important thing that you need to put into the equation. Select is capped to 150 people. Select is not an open-ended. So that means to maintain the exclusivity, the high ticket, we don't want to create a community of 1,000 people and then people lose everything.
What's stopping you from selling more into that 150 though, instead of selling more to other?
No, it's not selling. It just doesn't damage each other. They are two parallel automatic ways that bring the lead. Failures of awesome plus. So I'm having 4 calls a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. 2 of them are scale, 2 of them are select. They don't touch each other. And it's a copy paste for us to do the work, like venue. It's not going to be the same level, but right now the ticket for select is 8K. The ticket for scale is 5K. It's not the same, but if you look at the operational expenses, because at the end we're not selling for revenue, we're selling for profit, the gross margin is super high. We're talking about more or less 85%. That's exceptional in any business that I've seen in the last 20 years. So
it's certainly good for a service. There's some SaaS companies we have that are 95.
Yeah. Crazy. That's insane. It can also come to 90 when it's fully vetted, but we can't, at least now, the decision we have taken that I feel very comfortable about financially as a business. We have right now a very strong footprint in Barcelona. By capping, and we're thinking a lot, what's the number to cap a community? 150 is also a world-known number, and also from our perspective, not too big, but still maintains it. If we're able to do the 150 here of Select at that 8K point, which is 1.2 million, 155K point, which is the 800, which is 2 million ARR, and we're talking about a gross margin of 85-90.
That's good. You're not doing a separate campaign. It's the same leads that come in, just a different.
Everything comes. The machine tells you, are you at 0 to up to a million here, million up here?
So then actually I would track my statement. I think it's a fair point. I think that operationally it's not a load. My only thing though to keep in mind is that you don't want it to subtract from the real growth potential. Now this is beyond the point, so I don't want to miss what we're talking about here, but you have 150 people, that's the cap for Select.
Yeah.
Now that's the cap in terms of new customers, but the big question is going to be, what can we continue to sell them?
And we are having...
So they don't write you 8, they're paying you 20. I don't see why they couldn't. Look, Moss went from selling 3-4 units a month to doing that per week from folks he met in Charisma. The thing is that you have to wait a year for you to be like, or close to a year. You can start asking them 8 months, 9 months. Hey, you want to re-up? We get to the end of your time here. You want to re-up? You want to do the year now? You just pay for the year up front. We give you a discount. Great, whatever. Like you can do all these things. But the reason why my company's made more money when we took it from a 6-month or 12-month program down to a 16-week one is that by week 12, we gave them some bites of the cake, then we take it away and say, do you want more? Of course. And so I'm able to collect, instead of $40,000 over the course of a year, I'm able to collect $40,000 in 16 weeks. Now, that's a huge difference. The speed in which you collect your lifetime value is a huge difference. I don't know. They're not locked in, right? They can leave after 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, sorry. It's an annual commitment. I can't leave after 3. We're selling 1 year. That's a big ask.
That's a big ask. Yeah. I don't see why you can't do 5 for say, hey, give it a go this quarter for 5, no problem, right? Just a quarter, no obligation to keep going, right? But your reframe there is you increase your total annual program. You say the big boat, this is how I present it, the big boat is the year, and that's, you make the year really expensive. And in this case, you can make the year, because it's 5 times 4, it's 20. So the year is 20, but you know what? I don't want you to start on the year. I want you to get started easy and get started fast. Quarter pilot, just 5, right? And then what you do is you say, but when you're ready to keep going, right? We give you a discount on the 20 because you're already in the door. We don't have to re-onboard you. You should be able to get a 60 to 80% take rate on the upsell offer to the year when you're doing it properly. And that prepayment would be substantial.
You don't have to acquire the customer again. You already have them. You're making it easier to get started. I bet you the 12 months is a big commitment. And there's no guarantee that you'll get the second or third or fourth payment. I'm all on the side of selling the front door as something short because buyers stay in motion, and then selling the continuity after at a ridiculous discount. Because then it's like, oh, these guys must be exclusive then. Because if you guys want to be exclusive and have limited spots and all this stuff, you need to have the price that actually demonstrates that. I agree. This is the arc of a customer, right? Which we're going to get to in a second. But the arc of a customer, they should know that they're going to get another offer in the beginning. So I love presenting the big ticket as the anchor because it stuns them for a second. You slow your speeds down.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, shit. And then they see 5 as pennies. When you onboard people, you need to have a survey. So we can go back to the other thing. But the survey should ask questions like, how many pieces of long-form content did you watch from Charisma before buying? Because if it's 2, if it's 3, if it's 4, you need to manufacture that in the marketing sales process. You need to force that to happen, right? High information, low information buyers, as I said before. So that doesn't have to happen on the webinar, or the call can happen in their homework time. Post-webinar, pre-sales call, you need to watch this video. You need to watch these videos. For example, if you survey your customers and they say it's 3, you make sure every single prospect watches 3. So you get really good data there. We found with Adstra, on average, clients watch 5. Secondarily is, why did you make this decision to buy? And in their own words, they're going to tell you exactly why. That becomes what you say in the sales calls, in their own vernacular. Other survey data would be, what are you making now? What do you want to make? Have you been in the community before? What was good about it? What went wrong? When he's selling, the next 10 calls are going to be this. And then you understand that there's a time delay here on the next ask. And you want to ask at the point of highest deprivation, and typically on CS, that's going to happen at the point of highest value as well. So when value is hit, which is, you'll need to know like time to activation point, how long does it take for them to get their value? You need to define the value, whatever it is. Like for us, it's ROI, of course, but this could be a feeling, this could be a metric, this could be qualitative or quantitative number. The question is, okay, do you want to keep getting that value? Deprivation. So you want to keep getting the thing, ask again. And so you'll know, once you do this enough and gather enough data, you'll know at day 42 is the data ask, or when most people should get there. So Mike hasn't gotten there yet. Something's wrong with Mike. We need to focus on Mike, right? Or this person got there quicker. What about them made them get there quicker? Why did they get to the point of highest value there the fastest? What did they do in their journey on the product side? And then now the stability of your business and your ability to invest into ads, into people, becomes a lot more fruitful if you do a damn good job. So do a damn good job. How do we feel about that?
I think you're changing our mindset really fundamental level, and I think it's really important, because we're just kind of like, I think we don't really have we're just changing tactics, not like
This is going to underpin everything that you do. This is the strategic underpinning of like fundamentally, how can we maximize what we're already doing for the best customer?